Welcome to Champaign-Urbana. Williamsville Wire Live Wire broadcast is the second of the day as the final chapter in the seniors' careers at Williamsville. The seniors, Brecken Thomas, Carson Kohler, Brayden Scott, and manager Tucker Johnson, of course. Tucker Johnson, want to give him a shout out. Forgot to put him in the tweet and Facebook, but Tucker Johnson, who's going to, I believe, be managing in college, wanted to shout him out. Williamsville, this is the final chapter. This is also the final game that me, Kyle Huebner, Colin Birch will be announcing basketball. As Kyle Huebner and I, this is our final game on the Williamsville Wire. So first off, I want to thank everybody that's ever supported us. Got this career started with Seth Kuntz just 2 years ago. It's been an honor, no doubt about it. I'm sure Kyle and Colin will say the exact same. Colin still going to be doing some stuff with baseball, but Kyle and I, we will be finished. So I wanted to thank everybody. But Williamsville, heartbreaking loss, guys, to Chicago Phillips. What was the thoughts?
You know, going into that, we really weren't expecting much, and the fact that, you know, we were able to come back from down 12 at the end of the, or excuse me, in the middle of the third, and we're able to cut it to 7.
It was 12, I believe.
And then we cut it to 7 at the start of the fourth, and it's deja vu, Macomb. But they never wavered. They kept it close and ended up being a 1-point game, a 1-point deficit for Williamsville. Just couldn't close it out in the final minutes, and credit to Phillips. I mean, they played some rock-solid defense on Williamsville, really guarded their shooters. Brayden Sailing, Garrett Tim really didn't have that big of an impact. Carson Kohler had a great game, but really the shooters were a non-factor. Sailing hit a big one late, but that's about it. And, you know, you look at Phillips as they are definitely the favorite to win state, and I mean they've got athletes all over the court, and when they're able to hit threes and beyond their offensive game, they are impossible to stop, and I will use that word, impossible.
Don't count Benton out. They play a very good defensive game.
I'm not counting them out. I would just say they're favored.
Right, I would agree. They're easily the most athletic team at state, but I think that teams like Williamsville and Benton's kind of got the magic. Williamsville definitely had the magic. I thought there for a moment we were got some deja vu, and I wish we did. You know, we were seeing Brecken Thomas having the ball. You know, final minute of the game, down by 1. But turnover and
usually for Thomas, he's on the other end of that playmaking.
Yeah.
He's usually getting the one, getting the steal to go. He's usually getting that tough bucket to go. We saw against Alt Marquette his tough and one layup to put them up, and then obviously that huge 3 to really give him momentum in that Macomb Super-Sectional game. So he's been your go-to guy in the clutch for Williamsville this entire season, and this time and on the biggest stage it just didn't quite work out for him, but this team never wavered, and no matter the outcome of tonight's game or whatever the game was prior, I think the community, all of us at the Williamsville Wire are super honored and blessed to call this game and call this team our hometown team. And these guys mean a lot to us and the community, and no matter what happens, I mean, we're proud of them.
No doubt about it.
Definitely said it a couple times, but I mean, nothing to hang your hat on if you're Williamsville. Just an amazing, incredible season, an incredible playoff run. Had to battle back from, you know, middle of the season losing your best player and your best playmaker and your leader. And I mean, that was your leader, and someone had to step up. I think Carson Kohler, Brecken Thomas, Brayden Sailing did a good job of that. Garrett Tim stepped up in a big role. Bodine got hot in the playoffs. So, I mean, an all-around effort. Coach Nick Beard, I mean, he doesn't get enough praise.
Yeah.
I mean, when you build
the guys ready,
when you build your whole team in the summer and in the first few games of the season around your point guard and run the offense through him, and he goes down and you have to adjust, and you almost go out there and win a tournament championship at your home place, lose by 3, and then, you know, you struggle a little bit, change up the defense, and now you're here at Champaign, and you matched up against Phillips, a team that's probably more athletic than you, but he coached the guys up and said, there's no reason you can't win this game. And they almost did. And they left everything out on the court from the freshman coach, Casey Tuttle, all the way up to Carson Kohler, Brecken Thomas, seniors. I mean, everyone left it out there on the court, gave it their best, and you just got to be proud of yourself and know that you had the team to do it.
Yeah,
and you just came
it's
up
crazy.
short.
But yeah, Williamsville did. They somewhere in there, it took them weeks and weeks and weeks to find, but they had really, in my opinion, a state championship caliber team somewhere buried in there, and they found it, and it just came short. But I don't think anyone. I know Brecken Thomas. He's gonna lose a little bit of sleep over that turnover, but there's no reason for it because he's had, in my opinion, maybe the best postseason out of any Williamsville basketball player ever, and no one will ever be able to take what he's done here away.
Definitely,
this is his final game.
Definitely those clutch moments that us as fans and us as broadcasters can look on and ponder about those good memories that Thomas brought us, whether it was that and one at Beardstown against Old Marquette. We got the huge game against Pleasant Plains, came up short, and then obviously in the sectional, huge 3. So Mr. Marks will live on in the IHSA record books, but for Williamsville, you got a tough, formidable opponent here in the Byron Tigers. So obviously a very familiar opponent for Williamsville in the 2019 state game.
2017 as well.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah. And Williamsville, obviously played Byron, beat them in that infamous game where I think it was the most points scored in IHSA football history for a single.
It was either most points. I think it was most
history.
Yards.
I think it was championship history.
Yeah, I think it was most points scored in a championship, and then the most yards score or most yards in a championship. So they broke all those records. Williamsville pulled it out. It's still in a sport the only state championship in recent history that Williamsville has. Obviously, softball won one. Trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah,
softball won one. And Scholastic Bowl won one, and I believe 2018.
Yes, correct. They did.
Yeah, so a year before football did it. But I mean, basketball, they're not playing for a state championship, but. No. This is if they win this game, this is the best finish Williamsville basketball's ever had, and you can be dang proud. And if you're finishing, especially this year, you're hanging a banner. You can say that this team is the one that, this is. You can. I mean, you have all the arguments to say that this is the best team, in the IHSA tournament that Williamsville's ever had. So it's a lot to play for.
Agreed. And this third and fourth place game is one of the only times in postseason basketball where you can end your season on a win.
Yeah.
And
not be state champions.
And not be state champions, obviously. Yeah. And so this is a unique situation for both teams. Williamsville obviously really hasn't gone here in 33 years, so none of these players are probably the fans barely remember that state run, and so it's all new and a whole new aspect for them. So you just got to take it in. It's the final game here at this beautiful State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois, but you just got to look on and beat these Tigers.
It's not win or go home. It's win and go home.
Yeah, it's win and go home.
So it doesn't matter whether you lose or not. I think today I like to see, everyone kind of get in. Yeah, as Mr. Euchre comes over, we owe him a debt of gratitude for this year.
We do.
Mr. Euchre, the whole staff at Williamsville supported the Williams Wire tremendously, helped us kind of cover Williamsville basketball, Williamsville women's basketball, Williamsville football, Williamsville volleyball, whatever it may be this season. And then, of course, we'll have track and softball and baseball coming up in the spring. Williamsville here, I think, obviously this is the furthest the sports made it this year for Williamsville, at the state level.
Yeah, it's almost kind of a trade-off. Yeah. Football made it to state last year, but basketball lost in the regional championship to Normal U High. And this year, football goes out early, first round against Tolona Unity, the team that we actually beat to go to state the previous year. And now you trade it for success within the basketball program as they make it to state for the first time in 33 years.
I hate to say that because it's not really what it is.
No,
it's not because, the football team was bad, so the basketball
not like
team
a witchcraft.
It's not at all what it's like.
But the parallels between them is just interesting to look at.
Yeah. If you really think about it, though, Williamsville as a smallish public school in central Illinois, in the last 5 years, has had tremendous success.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 football state runs, and a championship, a basketball state run. So Williamsville, as a small Central Illinois school, has had a lot of success, and see what we can do tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Obviously looking also at the junior high side, volleyball is playing at their state tournament here tonight at
Junior high,
Warrensburg-Latham. Yeah, so
Beard finally changed suits, too. He's been wearing the same suit since Quincy, Notre Dame. I don't think he's gotten a dry cleaned. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on there or not. Obviously, he changed after the magical run ended with the loss, the heartbreaking loss to Phillips. Kind of blanked for a moment, but Phillips. He's been playing a lot of basketball. It's been a great run. I was talking to Colin just a week ago. Yesterday, we're playing Auburn in the sectional semi. 2 weeks ago, playing Quincy Notre Dame in the regional semifinal. Just shows how fast it goes.
I know it doesn't even feel real that that was 2 weeks ago that we were calling on Tuesday. Quincy Notre Dame, that 20-point victory, and we were like, well, what can this team do?
That's when it started.
What can this team do? Is going into that game, Quincy Notre Dame obviously was picked to win that regional.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that thought Williamsville, they were going to lose in this regional semifinal, and here they are.
And
they dang near were. I mean, they're state. I mean, they were a state championship contender this year. I mean, I don't think anyone can take that away from the Bullets.
They definitely can, and this is, if you want to compare it to college March Madness, Loyola Chicago made it all the way to the Final Four, just like Williamsville, but ended up losing to a tough opponent who's going to play in the champ game. We'll see if they have any parallels. Michigan beating Loyola that year, losing to Villanova. Hopefully, Phillips will play Benton, so I think Phillips is the more talented team and could definitely, have the capability to win that handily. But then again, it is the state tournament and anything can happen.
Yeah, as we get an alert on our phones that say we can't call 911. You get that, Colin?
I did. Public safety alert. Can't receive 911 calls.
Well, hopefully you don't have an emergency.
Not only a sports network, but a breaking news network.
Yeah. What's the keys? Obviously, you got to get your guys motivated for this game, but I think just these guys for Williams, I've never doubted their motivation. I've never doubted them playing for them, as a team. You're not playing for yourself anymore. You're playing as a team, as a program for your school. Selfless guys, and there's a lot of teams in Williamsville history that I don't know if you could exactly say that about, but this one, no doubt,
absolutely. And Coach Beard, we were in the post-game press conference, and he was asked about this game, what the next few hours looked like, and he said that they were going to go back to the hotel and hang out, but he also said that this is the hardest game in the IHSA playoffs to play, because you're coming off the most heartbreaking loss in your program. I don't know about history, but in this team's history, coming off the most heartbreaking loss in a tight one, and you've got to get up and you've got to go for the next one in another couple hours. So he said this is the toughest one.
I would agree with him.
In the IHSA playoffs, but he also said that they're going to be ready, and he said he's got a great group of players and a great group of just people in general that love each other and want to play for each other and are excited and happy and blessed to have one more game with who they think are their brothers. So he said they're excited and they'll be ready to go, and they want to get third place and see if they can keep some of that magic going in this one.
Obviously, keys to the game. Byron looking at their starting lineup, 6'3", 6'3", 6'1", 6'3", and 6'4", outsized once again. But in this 1-3-1, which Williamsville has ran to perfection here in this postseason run, it really hasn't proven to be a true advantage for any team. We said that against Auburn. Auburn obviously had size advantage. We said that against Alt Marquette. Alt Marquette had size advantage, and obviously Macomb and Chicago Phillips, they all had size advantage against the Bullets. It's not like the Bullets are small. Their guards are a little bit small. I mean, Sailing 5'10", Thomas 5'11", and the rest are 6 foot and above. But I mean, you look at the other teams and 6 foot and above, but really hasn't been too much of an advantage for anyone. And I think you credit that to the 1-3-1, the pressure you're able to get on the ball and away from the ball as well. So for Williamsville tonight, just keep playing that 1-3-1 to perfection, and the things will all fall in place. You got to hit your shots too. I don't feel like we did that against Phillips very well. Obviously Sailing not having a great game. Tim only hitting 1-2. Had a couple wide open ones that would have been pivotal, but again, basketball.
And Sailing, yeah, I mean, his percentage-wise from 3 wasn't great. He had 21 points, so that's a great game. But if we're hitting shots that we normally hit, like even in the regular season, you know, I think we were shooting a little bit better, and obviously early in the postseason we were shooting lights out. And the shooting, you could say for Williamsville, was kind of the demise. You know, you could say the defense never really faltered, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit in this game, but man, it's going to eventually. Someone's going to make an adjustment. But the shooting overall definitely wasn't as consistent, and I think that's why Williamsville's not playing in a state championship. Also, look at scoring from last game. Sailing with 21, Scott with 2. Garrett Tim with 5, Reed Bodine with 2, Carson Kohler 14, Brecken Thomas with 11. Obviously, kind of who you expect there. Kohler, Thomas, Sailing leading the charge. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll take a quick break here on the wire. Anthem starters coming up. We'll be back.
Byron.
Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Williamsville plays Byron. Byron, by the way, I think football-wise, is that the largest margin, I believe, in IHSA history?
Most points in IHSA
yeah,
history.
most
as well.
points. Yeah, they as a single team, I believe so. Elite Lawn Care, proud sponsor of the Williamsville Wire. Wade Muller at WesttownFord.com and Top Tier Springfield. Let's take a look at your starters. Once again, presented by all 3 of those sponsors. Garrett Tim, Brayden Sailing, Brecken Thomas, Reed Bodine, and Carson Kohler, of course, at center. Seniors, Carson Kohler, Brecken Thomas, and then Brayden Scott, who's not starting, and then, of course, manager Tucker Johnson. So those 4 guys will end their career in Champaign on the highest level that you can possibly end your career, other than, of course, the state basketball championship. And
a 6'2" senior guard, number 34.
And the Bullets look ready to go. They look motivated. Still a lot of fans in attendance for
I think
Williamsville here
definitely
tonight.
more than what the 1A had.
Yep.
So
and,
it's good to see.
Big student section.
Yeah, our
still.
student section still is there, and Byron brought a pretty good student section. So it looks like we're gonna have a pretty decent atmosphere for a 3rd place game, which you never know how that's gonna be.
You know, and obviously we
got a lot to play for.
Talked about it in the pregame that these 2 teams met on the gridiron in 2019. Williamsville coming out on top, so we'll see if this basketball team can have the same success that 19 team had. But if this game's anything like the 19 game, then boy, are we in for a treat.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to say, even though this is the third place game, still a good atmosphere, and this is still really cool. I mean,
Byron will
State
win
Farm
the tip.
Center.
It's Kilduff winning it, passing it over to Busser. Busser this time passing across the way. It's Newton guarded by Tim in the 1-through-1. Now we'll swing it down into the hands of Haas. Driving in, number 13, that's Hively. Hively shot no good. Carson Kohler pulls it down for the Bullets and sets up the first offensive possession of the game for Williamsville. And here's what's good maybe about this is that, you see what shots aren't hitting. Sailing, he's got time. He had a whole game to get his shot down. He had a lot of short shots. We'll see if he can make an adjustment. Garrett Tim's shot no good from a long 2. He just stepped in front of the three-point line. Shot is no good. Busser up the way, swinging it. It's Newton giving it to Hively. Hively's kicking it back out. It's into the hands of Tucker. Ryan Tucker swinging it into the hands of number 11, Carson Newton. Shot is good. 3-0 Byron.
Ryan Tucker, 6'3" guard, getting in on the scoring action there, really moving the ball, Byron is, to really try and combat that 1-3-1.
Garrett Tim right corner, and that's right there where he normally pulls his shot there as he has a little bit of separation. Brayden sailing this time up close, guarded by Tucker, swings Thomas. Thomas was throwing to Tim, but it's tipped out of bounds by number 13, Jack Hively. Stays with Williamsville.
So again, even though it's the third place game, you got to play for some pride and play for a chance to win the trophy. And really, third place is a lot better than fourth. So Williamsville's going to need some high-powered offense from either Sailing or Tim, get going beyond the arc.
And Byron, who's had a historic year, as Sailing pulls a deep 3 and nails it, and he ties the game.
Like I said, getting those guard play in with Tim and Sailing from beyond the arc really expands that offense so much and allows Carson Kohler feast inside as well.
Here's a deep 3. It's going to be Tucker pulling it. It's short, out of bounds. They're going to say it hit. Reed Bodine out of bounds. Byron will have it on the baseline.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think it was off Reed's hand. Reed's couldn't.
And here comes an official. He said maybe he had a different angle at it. We'll see if Williamsville gets it after the conversation. Beard at least wants him to talk about it. They do. Bullets have it.
Never mind. It wasn't a good call.
Yeah. But, you know what?
I thought Reed totally.
From my angle, I thought it did too, but
apparently
the other official had a different angle at it. So nonetheless, which looks like he had the same.
The only better angle on the court is the referees.
Yeah. Kohler giving it Tim right corner. Tim swinging back to Sailing in deep right wing, this time guarded by Tucker. He'll swing it across the way. Thomas loosely guarded by Busser. And it's going to be picked off. It's Kohler looking for Bodine into the hands of Hively up into the front court. Tipped away by Thomas, brought down by Kilduff. Kilduff kicking it back out. It's into the hands of Tucker. Offensive board by Byron. Swinging it. Hively shot no good, but it's also brought down by Newton, and he'll give it to Busser. Busser getting into the corner is Newton, and you knew Byron wasn't going to be scoreless for long if you give him that many opportunities. He hits a 3, and it's a 3-point lead for Byron.
Crashing the offensive glass, Byron is, and Williamsville needs to corral a defensive rebound if they can't prolong the Byron plays because they will take advantage.
Sailing shoots another 3 and nails it, and Williams is looking at this, and if he was able to get this hot against Phillips, they'd be playing in the state championship game as he's 2 for 2 to start this one. And he fell almost to the ground, but he's able to keep a knee up. It's Busser swinging it across the way. Tucker driving in. He'll kick it back out to Newton and pulls another 3. Shot's going to find the bottom of the basket, and it's been all 3s today for both sides.
And he's got 9 points already.
Sailing kicking. Kohler. Kohler to Tim in the right corner. Makes one man miss and pulls it. Shot, no good. Pulled down by Bodine. Bodine out to Thomas. Left wing. Pops the 3. No good, and this defensive board is grabbed by Hively.
It's like an NBA game, all these 3s popping out. And
Tucker, dribble drive. Gets it back out. Hively almost tipped away. It finds its way to the hands of Newton. Pulls from 3. Shot no good. Bodine fouled. No, they're going to say it was foul on Reed Bodine, so Byron will have it.
A little weird sequence there. But obviously Carson Newton really, stroking it from deep. 9 points. Byron's 9. And all 3 for 4 on 3s. So
there's been 10 threes taken so far.
And here we go. It's inbounded. Newton swinging it into the fresh in the game. Number 33, Considine. He'll kick it out. And Tucker hits the three. And Williamsville's defense is not exactly what you were expecting coming out.
Kohler hit threes at this clip.
Kicking it, sailing, driving in. Foul, 2 shots coming up for the junior guard. And he's the only guy that has any points.
Layup and one, and
Brecken Thomas and one.
His size and athleticism beginning really into that teeth of the defense, and we've seen him finish their contact so well this entire postseason run. We'll see what he can do from the charity stripe. Byron, 15 points in the first quarter. It's really unheard of for this Williamsville team in this Williamsville first quarter.
Like I said, sorry for we got some technical difficulties. Our piece that plugs in our computer is starting to wear out. Luckily, it's like the end of the year, so don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Some, the guys doing it next year have to worry about it. Tucker has it. He'll swing it into the hands of Newton. Newton back to Tucker. Bullets here, down by 6. In the hands. Hively swings out Newton, who's got 12 points. Hively right side, guarded by Scott, looking down low for Tucker. It's turned over. Sailing brings it into the front court for the Bullets. This time driving in, fouled and one, and the Bullets find themselves right back in it after being down by 8.
Brayden Sailing get it to go.
Sailing.
We were talking about him earlier, about him elevating his offensive game. He's able to take it inside, uses the glass so well on his high floaters. Fought against Phillips, are seeing it here tonight. Brayden Sailing getting it to go.
Sailing at the line. Brayden Sailing, by the way, 9 points, looking for number 10. He's got it. So he's already at 10 first corner points.
And 31 for the day so far.
How about it? It's a state tournament. You'll never forget. Newton giving it back to Tucker on the left side. Newton this time, right wing, giving back. Tucker driving in, it's fought away, but it will find its way into the hands of Newton. Thomas almost had it, lost his dribble for a moment, but it'll work it back into the hands of Tucker. Tucker swinging it. Kai Aiken right side will be fouled by a Bullet defender. I believe Brayden Sailing picks one up. Beard didn't like it.
Not liking that.
No, it'll be Carson Kohler picking up a foul.
Wasn't much of a fan either. I mean, 2 guys going for the ball and they make contact. And I don't know why you're calling a foul, but they did.
He saw it, and his instinct told him to call the foul. He blew the whistle. Subbing in for Byron, number 24, Malik Morton. Big guy for Byron. Looks like a pretty athletic kid. Listed at 6'4", 185. And it's going to be number 10, Ryan Tucker, hitting yet another 3 for the Tigers. And Williamsville's Defense definitely needs to step up as Scott driving in, shot no good. Kohler high off the glass, fouled, going to the line for 2 shots. Basket through a little bit of contact is no good. So the big man has his first opportunity for points.
And Byron still only has 3-pointers in this game. That's
6
it.
threes.
That's it.
And, yeah, roll on. Kohler's first, no good.
Kohler, we also talk about him this season, about how he didn't see the floor last year at all, besides garbage minutes. And he has really elevated his game to be a true threat inside.
Misses both those free throws, so Williamsville on the clock now running, not able to capitalize. It's into the hands of Tucker. Tucker giving to Newton this time. Tucker to a contested Hively in the left wing. Now across the way, Newton. Newton fouled. It'll be on Scott.
A lot of fouls being called.
So Scott getting his hands right into that defender and over the block. So he'll come out and Sanders will come in for Kohler. I think that's Kohler's only got 1, so nothing doing. But still the first quarter. High scoring first quarter. 18-12. Something unheard of in this 1-3-1.
Bullets not able to get the turnover. It's in the hands of Tucker. Tucker gives to Newton, who drives in for the mid-range jumper. It's off. Bullets able to pull it down. It's Brecken Thomas. Minute 21 remaining in the first. Thomas brings it up the way. Driving in through some defenders. Shot no good. And in the hands of number 24, that's Malik Morton. Morton kicks it up the way. Kildhoff, who's fresh back in the game, giving to Newton. Newton swinging it. Aiken giving back to Tucker. Tucker's going to throw it out of bounds, and I don't know who's looking for there.
Off the photographer.
I think, yeah, it hit a photographer right in the face. He wasn't looking for it. He's lucky he didn't have his camera up and may have
Broken the camera. But again, Thomas on that prior offensive possession, I really felt like he tried to do a little too much and should have just gone up for that contact layup instead. It almost looked like he tried to do an up and under, which is unfamiliar, as he really never tries those.
Bodine and the official had a pretty heated conversation there. I don't know what that exactly was about, but nonetheless, the official has kind of got in him a little bit, so I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah, if I can read lips correctly, I heard stop.
Yeah,
Stop.
that's what I heard too. Thomas left wing kicking, sailing from the right wing, pulls a deep 3, looks off, and it is. Bullett's not able to pull it down. It's into the hands of number 23, Brayden Kildhoff. Kildhoff able to bring a tough rebound down. It's Busser. Last 30 seconds, kicking it. It might be turned over. It is. Sailing has it. Down by 6, up the way to Thomas. Thomas in the front court waiting for some contact, fouled. He's going back to the line. Can't make the shot through a little bit of contact there. But nonetheless, he makes a play, and he hopefully can turn that into points.
Thomas in transition, using that pump fake down at the left block, and gets the Byron Tiger to jump, and he's fouled, so he'll be rewarded with 2 free throws. Williamsville tonight, they're 2 for 6 from the line, so not a great clip. Thomas makes it 3 for 7, but again, still not a great clip. You would like to see over 50% in that department. Watkins comes in for Kohler, so probably offense to defense.
Thomas's second. Good. 4-point deficit for the Bullets. Newton will work it up the way for Byron. He'll give it back. Tucker. Now it's back to Newton. He'll swing it to Busser. Now he gets it back. Swings. Busser, left wing. Kicks it down. 7 seconds. It's a deep 3. Tucker, no good. Thomas into Sailing, 2.5. Sailing from midcourt, pulls a deep 3. It looks off. It is. Pretty good look there from midcourt for Sailing. Williamsville, who was down by 8 at one point, now down by just 4. Kind of an offensive half. All 3s for Byron so far, as Williamsville's defense looks to clean it up and their offense looks to get going. Their team looks to end their season on a high note. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire final broadcast of the season for basketball. Here at third place, Williamsville last game fell on a tough one to Phillips, but they're here playing for third place. They're down by 4 points. Brayden Sailing's definitely had a big third place game so far, but Brecken Thomas has it. He'll give it to Bodine near the key, giving off. Thought about giving to Watkins. He'll give to Sailing in the left corner, this time picked up by Busser. He'll get back to Watkins, who's kind of been running the key. Now it's Thomas. Thomas near the key, giving to Bodine at the free throw line, shoots a jumper and nails it. And Bodine, who only had 2 points last game,
Really, Bodine
now has 2 this game.
when he's able to get it, most of his points, it's usually via his off-ball movement. So
And
that time taking
transition.
it himself and getting the bucket to go, that little floater.
Down low, he stepped out of bounds. It was number 33, Caden how do you say it? Is that Constantine down out of bounds on the baseline.
Considine.
Yeah, I think it's Considine, you're right. Bodine looks inbound. He's a guy who's fresh in the game, kind of a big man. I think he might have a bloody nose because he got, I think it's something. But nonetheless, Thomas getting down to Kohler near the right block, trying to go to work on some defenders down low. They're going to say he double dribbled, and he certainly did.
And he did. They did. I was wondering when they were going to call it, honestly. Like, I saw him do it, and I was like, double dribble?
Yeah, they called it.
Hope Academy. Hope Academy is running
Williamsville,
around
I
with our
guess.
Williamsville flag in front of our student section right now.
There you go.
Ryan Tucker, who Hope Academy took. Oh, they're going to call a foul, so it was either a foul or a travel.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
But I will say the Bullets were basically being their student section last game. So
Yeah.
Only returning the favor there as some of their players are sitting in the student section. So
Yeah.
maybe made a new friend here tonight.
Hope, who took third place in 1A, obviously had a successful season.
I think it's Hope Academy.
I think it is too. But
Yeah.
I recognize the player. Newton has it. He'll swing it into the hands of number 13, Hively. Hively giving back to Newton. Hively now has it. Thought about shooting. 6:40 remaining in the half. Swings it. Busser pulls from 3. Shot is short. Sailing able to get it and work it into the front court, down by 2. He'll slow it down and try and set up the offense. Kicks. Thomas in. Out to Tim in the left corner. He's going to turn it over right into the hands of number 13, Jack Hively. Kicks it up to number 33, Considine.
I think Tim should have. What do we got
What do we
here?
have?
Timeout. But
Full
a full
timeout?
timeout on Byron. So I really think Tim should have shot that three-pointer instead of, keeping it and trying to pump fake and catch him off guard. But really, that was a lousy pass back to Brecken Thomas.
Yep.
It gets stolen. Easy layup, the easiest you're going to get tonight out of this 1-3-1 if you're the Byron Tigers. So
And
you need to take care of the
Tim,
basketball.
who was having one of the best three-point shooting, series of games maybe in Williamsville basketball history, has cooled down. I think because his confidence isn't as great, I don't think he's as inclined to pull threes like that. So that definitely is a factor. We'll take a quick break here on The Wire. We'll be right back. Once again, brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Mueller at westtownford.com, and Top Tier Springfield. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Bodine inbound. He'll give it to Thomas. 6:16 remaining in the half as the Bullets look to get back into this one. Thomas has it. He'll give it off to Tim. Tim this time picked up by Newton. He'll kick it to Sailing. 6 minutes remain in the second. Bullets trying to set up their offense. Kohler sets a screen. Now Sailing, almost a travel there or a foul, but it's going to be turned over to Newton. Newton into the front court to Hively. He'll lay it in for yet another in transition bucket for the Tigers.
So again, another lousy pass by Williamsville offensively turns into a Byron turnover and a Byron layup. Can't have that.
Sailing, kicking it. Bodine in the right corner. He'll kick it back to Thomas, right wing. He'll give it off to Tim. Bodine dribbling in. Shoots another jumper. Shot no good. Kohler's going to pull it down and kick it out to Bodine. Bodine will turn it over. Tim wasn't ready for it. It's on the ground, and it's Constein driving in. He's going to be fouled by, I believe, Garrett Tim or maybe Reed Bodine. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see what he reports.
Reed Bodine.
So regardless,
yes, Reed Bodine picks it up.
just another lousy turnover again. And I think Williamsville needs to slow it down and really take care of that basketball and value the possessions, because Byron will run, and just like that, it's a 6-point game with a chance to be 8 or 9.
Here it is, Hively mid-range jumper. Can't find the bottom of the basket. Sailing will pull it down for the Bullets. 5 minutes remain in the half. Down by 6. They need a bucket here. Sailing giving off. Brecken Thomas giving it. Sailing near the key, this time closely guarded by Constein. Sailing this time. No, Bullets don't seem like they're in any hurry here, having a little trouble. Scott driving in, he'll give it off to Kohler. They're going to say it's tipped by Byron. They'll stay with the Bullets.
So then again, yeah.
Nope, maybe Byron. Nope, they're going to stay here. I think they debated everybody.
Right. Again, you need to value the basketball, and that's Williamsville's not doing that right now. They aren't valuing the basketball. They aren't valuing possessions, and I think lousy passes so far, but again, credit to Byron. They have active use of hands, and Williamsville needs.
Yeah, they're in a state for a reason. They won a sectional. They won a super sectional, so very formidable opponent. And they've shown it here. Thomas giving to Scott, and he's absolutely declined out of bounds by number 11, Caston Newton, who looks like he's going to jump up in the stands and get a basketball.
Looks like he did.
Give it into the official. Subbing in for Williamsville, Garrett Tim. He'll come in for Griffin Watkins as the freshman goes back to the bench.
Newton, number 11 for Byron with 12 points on 4 threes. He's got 12, 2, and 1 here tonight.
Sailing another jumper in, no good. It's pulled down by Ryan Tucker for Byron. He'll kick it up. Hively swings it. Newton thought about pulling from 3, but he'll give it back. And this time it's Tucker. Tucker giving Hively, pulls from 3. Shot no good. They can't find a rebound, and they get it back. It's Busser kicks it. Newton pulls from 3. Shot no good. Thomas will pull this one down, and he'll give it to Sailing, but he turns it over. Newton, no foul, but he gets the basket.
So really, again, they aren't valuing the basketball. Thomas, turnover. Brayden Scott, turnover. Carson Kohler, turnover. It just keeps piling up, and it's starting to affect Williamsville. They're down 8.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a 2-point game at the end of the first, and now they're down 8. 3:52 left in the half, and Byron's got all the momentum.
Down by 8. The Bullets look to get themselves back into it. Coach Beard giving it to his guys. We'll take a quick break. 3 minutes and 52 seconds remain in the half of this third-place matchup. Welcome back. Williams Wire Live Wire broadcast continues. Second of the day here for me, Nathan Simcoe, Colin Burge, Kyle Huebner, and Gavin Scheffler. Brayden Scott giving out to Brayden Sailing, who pulls another 3, and he drills it, and it's a much-needed basket that ends the scoring drought for Williamsville. And we've got ourselves just a 5-point game. It was 8.
Huge, but again, got to clutch up on defense right now and then still value the basketball on offense.
Newton trapped. This time, swinging it into the hands of Aiken, who pulls from 3. Shot is no good. A good rebound by Brayden Scott, who's really come along on the rebounding side of things.
Definitely his last couple games, most notably against Macomb. Grabbed 5 offensive boards that game.
Brecken Thomas kicking out. Brayden Sailing pulls from the right corner. Shot no good. Scott pulls it down. Scott able to dribble out for a moment. He'll give it to Brayden Sailing, but it is turned over as he wasn't ready for it. Tucker driving in through some Bullet defenders, and that is just too easy.
And they're just using their quickness and size to get in, and Williamsville has no answer, especially in transition.
Too easy there. Thomas kicks it out, sailing. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remain. Thomas driving in, a tough layup for the senior point guard as he gets it to go high off the glass. 5-point deficit for Williamsville as Newton works it back up the floor. Hively this time giving Newton down to Constein, who lost it for a moment. He swings it into the hands of number 5, Aiken, pulling out. Newton giving Tucker for 3. Shot no good. Bullets will have it. The white foul.
White foul? No.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know we're homers, but that's not a good call, and I don't agree with that call. But nonetheless, Williamsville's
Carson
going to have
Kohler
to
picks
play.
up yet another.
They're going to have to play lights out on the defensive end. And really, Byron moving the ball very well, and they're getting open shots in the corner. They just haven't been able to hit. But if they start hitting, Williamsville's in trouble.
And now here it is, Aiken to inbound. Foul's going to be called there. 2 shots coming up for Byron. It'll be Aiken at the line. See if this foul goes on. Number 20. Ryan Mendenhall, who's fresh in the game, getting some playing time here for Williamsville.
Really hasn't played much this postseason.
No.
Had a stretch of games in late January where he was actually the 7th guy off the bench, you know, kind of a Brayden Sailing-esque player, that 3-and-D type of guy. You know he can hit it from deep. But I'm curious to see why he's in here now with both. Well, Tim's out, but Sailing's also in as well.
At the line, number 10, Tucker converts. Wasn't Aiken at the line. Tucker had it. 2 minutes remain in the half. Sailing down by 7 again, Williamsville is. Thomas kicks it. Kohler to Scott. Right wing, driving in around some defenders. No good. Out of bounds. It's Kohler, saved in by a Byron guy, but Kohler able to put it in after the save by Byron. Gets Williamsville some points.
Saved right into Kohler's hands, and Kohler right place, right time, gets the layup to go.
This time Newton kicks it. Tucker stolen away. Brecken Thomas into the front court. Newton's there. Fouled. 2 shots. Thomas.
And Newton got Thomas on the arm there. So again, another Thomas fast break with some contact. If you foul him hard enough, not going to make it, but if you foul him light, there's a chance. There's always an and one opportunity that time. Really hard foul there. Thomas at the line for 2.
Newton showed some speed there for Byron getting
Definitely.
back on defense, because Brecken Thomas,
He looked like he was about to slam it.
Yeah, he probably would have if Newton wasn't so fast. Brecken's like, oh, well, if he can't slam it in transition, he usually goes for a layup in through some contact so he can at least get a foul.
Tell his kids one day that he slammed one home at the State Farm Center on the college court.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously it didn't happen, but it would have been cool.
Busser has it, giving Tucker, trading it here. The Bullets now down by just 3 points here with a minute remaining in the half. Tucker thought about pulling. He'll swing it back. Busser, right wing, gives back. Tucker finds an open Aiken from the corner and nails it. Makes the Bullets pay for leaving him wide open.
Byron using Kilduff to really shield Brayden, the baseline runner, and they're able to attack that corner 3. So great game plan there by Matt Hewells.
Sailing, so starting to drive in. He'll give to Scott. Scott out to Watkins. Griffin Watkins hands it off. Brecken Thomas, 40 seconds. Brayden Scott, right wing, this time picked up by number 24, Morton. Watkins kicks it out. Brayden Sailing, guarded by Aiken. Sailing, free throw line, driving in, kicking out to Thomas. Thomas kicks it. Scott, left wing, driving in. And he'll reset the offense to Thomas with 20 seconds remaining. And he's not closely guarded. Now he is. Busser, he's got to count. He's got to make his way. He's closely guarded. He's got to count. Now he does not. Thomas, 7 seconds. Thomas giving off. Scott to Sailing. Sailing making one-man miss. Pulls a deep 3. That's the end of the half. The Bullets down by just 6 points. It's kind of been a consistent, persistent lead for Byron this entire first half. Williamsville is going to need to come out a lot better in the second, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But, you know, it's
if Byron was able to really exploit that deep corner and they're able to hit threes, then it's trouble for Williamsville. They're using, like I said, Kildiff to really shield that, and shield Sailing, which is the baseline runner at the bottom of the 1-3-1. And they're picking that, and they're tearing us apart on offense because of that. So if they're able to hit shots, it's trouble. But you got to lock up defensively and obviously find some sort of offensive rhythm. I know it's a physical game, but kind of have to play through some contact and get gritty.
No doubt about it. We'll be back right before the second half begins. It's the final 16 minutes of basketball for seniors Brecken Thomas, Carson Kohler, Tucker Johnson, and Brayden Scott. We'll be back. Welcome back. Williamsville Wire as Sweet Caroline plays the final half of basketball for the Bullets' historic season. And for Byron's historic season, both teams having great years, but neither one of these teams will be bringing a state championship home to their respective towns, but third place would be the best finish in Williamsville program's history.
Correct.
So obviously they're still playing for something, down by 6.
Obviously, but you look at Williamsville, they're going to have to value possessions more. I don't feel like in the first half that they did that very well. A lot of careless turnovers that led to Byron easy points, so we'll see if Williamsville is able to clean that up here in the second half.
Busser, he'll give it across the way to Newton. Byron has the possession to start the second half. Corner 3 by Newton is no good, but it's pulled down. Easy rebound. It's tipped up. It's going to be brought back down by Hively. Hively shot good, and Byron, after his second chance there, they're going to make those.
It's always tough. You can't let them prolong possessions.
There we go. Sailing to Kohler. Picked off, but Williamsville gets it right back after yet another turnover. Kind of lost it there. Was number 10, Ryan Tucker, being fed by Hively. Williamsville's got to take care of the ball here. They're down by 8 points, 7 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. Kohler, he'll give to Bodine near the free throw line. Kicks out, Sailing, pulls a deep 3. Shot, no good. Into the hands of Newton. Hively works it back up the way for the Tigers. He'll give it. Newton driving in. Now he'll kick it back out. Busser guarded by Thomas, swinging. Tucker giving back. It's Hively pulling a deep 3. Shot, no good. Sailing, not able to pull it down. It's into the hands. Hively, he'll turn it over. Thomas has it. He'll work it in transition for Williamsville. Kicking, Tim. Tim back to Thomas, right wing, pulls from 3. Shot, no good. It's into the hands of Byron's number 23, Kilduff. Kilduff into the front court, gives it to Hively. Hively lays it in for an easy bucket.
So Byron, in transition, they've been lethal, and Williamsville, some tough shots just haven't gone in. Deep 3s that really you don't need to take, and obviously turnovers have also affected.
Kohler giving it, finds its way, Sailing right wing, drills it, and it's a tough basket to start the half for Williamsville.
Right back with a 7.
Two football teams playing, and it's a football score right now, 35-28.
There you go.
Busser swinging it. Two football schools in the state basketball tournament, so maybe not so much. They're also basketball schools. Busser giving Newton. Newton back to Busser. Byron doesn't look like they're in any hurry here. Looking for a shot they like. Newton looking down low for number 23, Kilduff. Tipped out of bounds by Kohler. Good defensive play there by the big man.
So for Byron, here early, they've really taken advantage of what Williamsville's given them. We saw in the last half as well, just the corner 3 has been readily available if you really block Sailing out from contesting that shot.
Newton has it. He'll kick it out. It's into the hands of Constantine. Constantine, he'll give it back across the way. Now he's near the free throw line. Kicks out. Tucker pulls from 3, and he drills it.
So right back to a 10-point lead. Aaron Williamsville trading threes and net 0 on both possessions.
Yeah. Down by 10, Williamsville is. Garrett Tim has it, works back, free throw line, giving to Sailing. Sailing to Thomas. Thomas driving in, kicks it out to Sailing in the right corner, pulls from 3. Shot is no good, but it's pulled down by Newton. Newton up the way, kicking it. And is Constantine fouled and won as he works through some contact. And I believe Brayden Sailing picks up a foul. Wasn't an awful lot of contact, but nonetheless, he got it. Basket's good. 5 minutes remaining here in the third. Williamsville down by 12.
I just feel like Williamsville's flat right now.
Yeah, they're definitely flat.
Probably just credit that to the fact that both teams played a game today, and they played a high-intensity game, both of them today. And really, you look at this format and you wonder why games are played back-to-back on the same day. It's kind of weird. It's something an AAU tournament would do, but it's happening in the IHSA, so something to open your eyes about.
It's something that it happens every year. I know this is Williams' first trip in a long time, so maybe people don't pay attention to it until their school gets there.
Correct.
It happens. Sailing has it near the key, this time closely guarded by Busser. working in, sailing back out to Bodine. Left wing, mid-range jumper, right-handed is no good. He almost pulled it back down, but it was pulled down by number 24, Malik Morton, but he traveled, so Williamsville will get it back on their own baseline.
Williamsville needs something. Anything on offense, just something right now.
Thomas in the sailing, right key, drives in, shot, no good. Sailing able to pull it down, jump ball. Bullets will have it.
And now you get your third opportunity. Got to cash it.
Yeah. Byron, they've had some, they've had positions where they've had, 2, 3, 4 opportunities, and they've made Williamsville pay for it. So Williamsville's got to make Byron pay for it here. It's in. Sanders, who's fresh in the game, kicking it. Bodine down to Thomas. Thomas fouled. Can't get the basket through some contact. Hard foul. Thomas went to the ground. Mr. March back to the free throw line for 2.
And I know we say this every broadcast, but anytime you're able to get points when the clock is stopped and you're in a deficit is always a blessing, and that's why they're called free throws. They should be free.
His first is good. Bullets up to 29. Garrettson to the bench. Griffin Watkins in.
The tandem of Sanders and Bodine in the middle. We'll see if they're able to grab a rebound.
Thomas is second good. Bullets up to 30. They're still down by 11 points with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the third. It's Hively kicking it to Tucker. Tucker picked off. He was looking for Aker, but it looks like Griffin Watkins came in and knocked it right out of.
I mean, that's a steal for Watkins on sailing.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking for there, but Aiken, he'll turn it over into the hands of Jackson Sanders.
Regardless,
so this has been a high turnover game, both sides. I think both sides could clean it up. It's Thomas sailing near the key, driving in around some defenders. Shot is no good. Griffin Watkins will pull it. Bodine out to Thomas. Left corner pulls from 3. No good. Sanders tries to go up. That shot's no good. It's pulled down by number 24, Malik Morton. Morton's shot's almost picked off by Thomas. Into the front court is Tucker. Tucker swinging it down to Constein, and he's going to lay it in for an easy bucket for Byron.
Williamsville gambling on that opportunity, and Byron making him pay.
Sloppy basketball.
We'll see if Williamsville has anything offensively that they can give them. Down 13, not looking good right now.
Bodine kicks it out to Sailing in the right corner. Sailing, this time picked up by Newton. He'll give it to Thomas. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third. Sailing wide open pass, good from Jackson Sanders. We'll take a quick break here on the wire as Coach Beard calls a full timeout. The Bullets are still down by 11 points.
Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. We had a little play-by-play color change. Simcoe is going to be on color, and Colin Burge will be on play-by-play for now. As Byron gets set to start this offensive possession. 2:45 left to go in this third quarter. It'll be number 10, Ryan Tucker, taking it up. They'll give over to Hively. Hively back to Tucker. Trading passes on the wings. That's back to Hively. Hively down inside to 23, Kilduff. Kilduff outside. Byron no good by number 5. Kyle Aiken, right corner
step
3.
out of bounds. They call a foul. I'm not
Called
sure.
a foul.
Called a foul
On Brecken Thomas.
Brecken Thomas picks him up. How many fouls is that for him? Griffin Watkins picks it up. That's his
Griffin
first.
Watkins. There's Aiken inbounds. 3 from number 10. Ryan Tucker is good. So Byron continuing
16.
to put on the shooting clinic from start to finish. Specifically, those right and left corners really opened up that 1-3-1. As here's Sailing, gives them into Sanders. He'll give out to Thomas. Thomas back to Sailing. Sailing looking around, finds Thomas again. Thomas deep 3, short once again, shooting from the college line, rebounded by Byron. That's Ryan Tucker. He's going to bring it up.
Plays for Williamsville that you take a step up, that probably goes in.
Here's Aiken. Gives over to Hively, deep 3 from Hively, kind of a heat check there for the entire team. It's no good, but offensive rebound by Byron. Number 23, Brayden Kilduff, be on the floor. Off of Sailing, Byron ball. Aiken will take it out.
At this point, what's Williamsville? Obviously, they're playing flat. This game is not heading the way you want it. What's going to turn this around?
You look at guard play, and they're going to have to hit some shots. As here's number 10, Ryan Tucker, not able to hit that deep 3 once again. It looks like it'll be a
Watkins again.
Foul again on Watkins. So 2 quick ones in this late third quarter, 1:32 left to go.
I've been talking to some guys, and Griffin Watkins, although kind of plays center for JV, they want him to develop maybe into like a forward like Reed Bodine. I think that role would fit him well, especially moving forward.
Tucker being guarded on by Thomas. He gives over to Aiken. Aiken running around. There's the Hively at the top of the key. Hively driving in, looking for something. Tough contact layup, no good, but there is a foul. Wonder if it'll be on Watkins again for his 3rd straight. Looks like it will be.
It will be. Wow,
Watkins
3 straight
3rd.
fouls.
So it'll be on the shot this time. So Hively will. Looks like the student section chanting, "Let them stay." And I believe they're talking about the Hope Academy players that are staying in their student section.
Oh, they're getting. Oh, okay.
Checking in for
But
the Bullets,
who knows?
Kohler and Garrett Tim.
Kohler getting back in for Sanders. Watkins obviously coming out with 3 quick fouls. So the student section just trying to have fun with it. Williamsville down 14, 1:17 left to go. Second one's good by Hively. So that pushes their lead up to 15 at
17 here. I
Williamsville.
wonder what Williamsville looks to push.
Just coming out flat this game. Credit that probably to the 2 games played. As here's Tim, right corner 3, no good.
Shooting struggles definitely continue. I think that's definitely a storyline on why Williamsville not only isn't playing in the state championship, but why they're most likely taking 4th place. Of course, if this game holds the way that it looks like it's going.
Hively up to Tucker, and he's fouled on the floor. So
who picked that one up?
Ryan Tucker at the line for the
Was that Garrett Tim?
5th team this quarter on Williamsville. So Tucker will be awarded 2 free throws. Williamsville coming into this one, they obviously a heartbreaking loss to Chicago Phillips, and you look at that game and wonder what could have been. You could be playing in the state game and really have all the momentum on your side from an underdog team, but Phillips' athleticism and size and speed were able to finally get the best of Williamsville as the miraculous run came to an end.
They had it, and then it just kind of faded away. They had a 12-point lead, and Williamsville looked like the magic was there, but it fell short. It was one play. I think it was one play. I think they were 1 play away.
Here's Sailing, gives over to Thomas. Thomas swinging to Mendenhall in the right corner. Mendenhall fresh in the game, gives to Sailing. Sailing pump fakes. Keeps it himself. Byron sitting in a 1-2-2 zone of their own. Mendenhall in the corner, into Sailing, who gives to Scott down low. Scott looking for something, doesn't have anything. Mendenhall, left corner 3, no good. Scrambled around and ended up pulled in by Tiger. Here's number 33, Considine. Considine going up, and looks like it'll be an offensive foul. So
I didn't see it, so
set their feet.
We'll see here.
Most likely looked like Scott, but
Number 33, Kate
Again, another good take to prevent a.
Considine picked up a foul. I don't know. Did you? I didn't see
really
it.
see it.
I mean, he had the ball, so he must have pushed off because it wasn't a charge play.
Preventing a Considine
Yeah, I don't know.
easy layup, which Byron has gotten way too many of those here tonight, as here's Thomas. Looking around, finds Sailing at the top of the key. Sailing back to Thomas. Gives back to Sailing. Gives to Mendenhall in the right corner. This time, another three, no good. Tries to grab his own miss. Rattled around, end of the third. Sailing. Lousy shot, no good. That'll end the third quarter, going into the fourth. Williamsville down 17, and right now, I mean, this is the biggest deficit they've had all postseason.
All postseason,
and, you're just playing for pride at this point. I really think you just got to play for the, pride in your community and pride in your team, and just be thankful on how you got here, and the ability to play in this state tournament and these high-level games really have been a blessing for Nick Beard and his coaching staff, as well as these players who have really grinded in and really bought into that culture. We'll take a quick break here on the Williamsville Wire. Don't go anywhere. Williamsville down 17. Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire, the live wire broadcast brought to you by Elite Lawn Care, Wade Mueller at Westtown Ford, and Top Tier Springfield, as we continue live coverage of this third place game in the fourth quarter. Getting ready to start, it'll be Tiger ball, as here's Busser taking it up for Byron. He gives over to number 11, Newton. Newton back to Busser. Busser driving in, floater from the free throw line, no good. Offensive rebound ends up in the hands of number 5, Aiken. Aiken gives
Offensive
over.
rebounding has definitely been a storyline for why Byron's had basically complete control of this game.
They reset it with Busser. Busser directing traffic, gives to Aiken. Aiken over to Newton. Newton been a kind of a scoring threat from deep early on, had 4 threes in the first half, as here's Busser giving over to number 24, Malik Morton. Morton to Newton. Newton trying to drive in, smothering defense there by Brayden Sailing as they almost force a turnover. Here's Thomas on Busser. Busser driving in, tipped by Sailing, and Sailing's got a fast break opportunity. Sailing up, layup good. So Sailing getting in the scoring column first in this quarter with an easy transition layup off the turnover. Here's Byron, here's Kilduff. Kilduff driving in, it's turned over again. So Williamsville, some life early in this fourth as they give over to Kohler. Kohler stops his feet, blocked, but a foul.
Oh, I thought
that was a clean block,
traveled.
and I did believe Kohler did travel. So.
I thought he traveled, so.
And then again, Sailing.
He got uncalled, so he'll take it.
Sailing and Bodine, active use of hands on the defensive end. Lead to 2 straight Byron turnovers and 1 layup, and then Carson Kohler at the line shooting 2, his first good.
Out of the bullet student section, they've moved over to where Hope Academy is allowed, and now that's the student section.
That's funny. I mean, you love to see.
That is hilarious.
Another turnover, guys. Trying to pass back to number 10, Ryan Tucker, but it'll be an over and back call. Kilduff in the front court. Obviously, Tucker was not. Easy call there, and Williamsville ball. 3rd straight Byron Tiger turnover. It'll be Bodine on the inbound. And he'll give to Thomas. who will try to orchestrate an offense for Williamsville. Sailing, driving and looking for Thomas, has him. Good defense there by Tucker. Byron also trapping in their 1-2-2. Gives over to back to Thomas. Thomas to Sailing. Sailing thought about shooting. Gives back to Thomas. Thomas over to Scott. Scott going to drive in. Some contact there. Gives into Kohler. A nice feed, and Kohler able to capitalize on the nice feed from Brayden Scott driving inside. Carson Kohler up to 6 points here tonight. We'll see if Williamsville could cut into the 17-point lead that we saw them fourth quarter deficits all postseason. 7 against Macomb and obviously 7 against Phillips. Came out on top against Macomb, but not Phillips. As here's Byron. Here's number 10, Ryan Tucker, taking a 3 and hits a 3. So a dagger for Byron, and looks like it'll be a timeout by Byron. And they silence the Williamsville run as 5:34 left to go in this fourth quarter. Williamsville holding on, trying to play for pride here at the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll have live coverage of the rest of the game here on the Williamsville.
Welcome back to the Williamsville Wire. Another play-by-play change. This is Kyle Huebner, joined alongside me is Nathan Simcoe and Colin Burge, as the Bullets will have it down 52-38 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in this fourth quarter. Brecken Thomas at the top of the key. He'll swing over to Brayden Sailing. Brayden Sailing picks up his dribble, passes down to Carson Kohler, back over to Brecken Thomas for 3, and it's way short, and it'll be rebounded by number 3, Busser. And Busser will take it up for Byron.
It's another one of those things. He's shooting a college 3.
Yep, absolutely. Busser heavily guarded by Brayden Scott. Looks like he'll just try to dribble around for a little bit, maybe run some time. He'll drive, and he will take a shot. Floater, no good. Rebounded by Brayden Sailing, and he'll push it up into the front court. He will go straight to the rim. Layup, good. Easy layup for Brayden Sailing.
Sailing's had 2 huge games here at State.
A little too late, as it's a full court pass to Busser, and that's good. And Williamsville might have started to give up here, 54-40.
Never like to say that, but
no, but
it kind of feels
didn't get back, and very flat. Over to Brayden Scott in the corner. Brayden Scott's trapped. Back to, he finds Brayden Sailing. Brayden Sailing is trapped, and he'll kick over to Brecken Thomas. Back over to Bodine, and he'll get stolen away by Busser, but Brayden Sailing will pick it up and get it to Brecken Thomas, and Brecken Thomas will kick over to Bodine. He'll shoot for 3, no good. Rebounded by Busser, and it's going to be a foul on Williamsville. Not sure who it's going to be on.
Carson Kohler,
Carson Kohler
picks one up just based on his reaction. I think that's his
4th.
Ugh. Never won a foul out of your last game, so Kohler should just not foul anymore. I mean, at this point, Byron looks like they're in command. Just, you know,
really, like
keep your hands straight up. They're calling on you.
You're playing for pride at this point.
Absolutely.
And it'll be Busser bringing it up for Byron into the front court. He'll kick over to number 13, Hively back to number 11, Newton over to number 10. It'll be Ryan Tucker, and he will knock down the 3 for Byron as they regain their 17-point lead. And you know, Williamsville made a little bit of a late push, but
they got silenced.
A little too late.
Williamsville's got a lot to be proud of, so they can play for pride all day.
They do. Brecken Thomas has it. He'll kick over to Bodine. Bodine will try to get it back to Thomas, but it's stolen away by Ryan Tucker. Ryan Tucker takes it in, and he will miss his layup. It'll be rebounded by Hively.
Yeah,
and
offensive rebounding continues.
Hively will give it out to Newton. Newton shoots for 3, and he's fouled on the 3-pointer. So he'll go to the line for 3 as we have subs, Brody Neuhoff and Lyttaker in for the Bullets.
Williamsville just trying to empty their bench as
Yep.
Coach Beard throws in the white
yeah.
flag. 3:34 left with 17-point deficit. Can you imagine the seniors would play, and then obviously trying to incorporate the bench guys who also practice day in and day out to help this team get better.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to take the starters out one by one, get a standing ovation.
It's been one heck of a season. It's been one heck of a career for these guys. It was short-lived. Unfortunately, you got these seniors who were who only played 1 year of varsity basketball, but
they fought like warriors, man.
They did, and after all this adversity, really, I mean, obviously these 3 seniors that played first year of major varsity experience, obviously all of them first year varsity starters. I know Scott started a couple of games, but I mean, you look at these seniors and the adversity they went through with them finally getting to call their senior season and end up on the second highest stage you can get to in high school basketball. I mean, it's an incredible moment, and they have nothing to be ashamed about. They're one of the top 4 teams still standing in 2A. I mean, if you thought this team in late January was going to be one of the top 4 teams standing,
you'd probably be crazy. Honestly,
I would put you in a mental
crazy.
asylum.
I think I would too. You would have to have been crazy.
One-way ticket.
If you were at that Prairie Central game, if you were looking at that and you're saying to yourself, this is a state. I mean, Williamsville's a state caliber team. I mean, this is a team that could have won a state championship. And if you would have put them in that category, and at that game, you'd have to be nuts. But Williamsville fought like crazy. And talking about Byron, I mean, they had a dominant year. They're going to finish at 31-3. So there's nothing to hang your head about over there for sure.
Third place.
Basketball and football, dominant seasons.
Brody Neuhoff takes a jumper. It's no good. Rebounded by number 20, Kessler for Byron, and he'll bring it up into the front court. Whole new starting 5s for both teams. It'll be turned over to Callum Lyttaker, but he will go out of bounds. And that's the story of the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not Williamsville's best day here. Had the magic going in the first game, but I think the magic ran out after a loss.
Obviously, our final broadcast, so.
Yeah, how about
really
it?
I mean, hey, we ended up on the highest stage,
How
folks,
about
and really can't be mad about that.
Not at all. We're calling our last game courtside at State Farm Center.
Is that Dalton Root picking up a foul down there?
Couldn't ask for
Yes, it
anything
is.
more. A lot of thank yous to be put out. We could thank people for hours, but Coach Nick Beard, Mr. Euchre, Mr. Smith, Mr. Furlow, Mr. Reedy,
Mr. Compardo.
We'd like to thank all of them for this opportunity. And especially Mr. Euchre.
Seth Kuntz.
And Coach Beard. Yes, Seth Kuntz as well.
Starting the entire
Coach Kuntz.
Yep,
Coach Beard.
Kuntz, yep.
Coach Beer.
Coach Beer, yep.
Coach
We'll get a list out and we'll
Yeah.
tweet it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll corral our thoughts after this.
Yeah, but a lot of thank yous to be put out. It's been one heck of a journey. It's been fun. As Brody Neuhoff will give it over to Callum Lyttaker. Callum Lyttaker over to back to Neuhoff, and Neuhoff traveled.
Brody Neuhoff, a guy who started several games for Williamsville this season. Along the stretch, Brody wasn't necessarily always a part of this historic run, but he helped him win some ball games this year. That's for sure.
State in ball games. Calvary, obviously, they won that, and then Tolona, that really close game in the holiday tournament final. And that's when you really knew that this team, even without Blake Shuffler, was a state caliber team. And if they put the pieces together, they were able to be dangerous. And that 1-3-1 was the missing piece that they needed, and they ended up here.
And a foul call. No, that's a jump ball.
It's a jump ball. Yeah, Brody Neuhoff, only a freshman, and he's grown up a lot. Wasn't very experienced. He wasn't experienced at all. He was on JV, got called up when Blake Shuffler went down. Got his first start in the semifinal against Calvary. He's grown up a lot, so he'll be an integral part of the team next year. Brayden Sailing, Blake Shuffler return, obviously. Reed Bodine return. So losing 2 starters and 2 of your better players is tough, but a lot to build on. And all these players that have started in these big games will now know what it feels like. And, they've been around the locker room with these guys who know to love each other like brothers and all that. So they've got a lot of good experiences and a lot to build on for next year for Coach Beard, and it's going to be special next year as well.
Probably it'll be
I
a
think they've got
formidable team.
It's, we've talked about this a lot, how, matchups play such a factor as Lyttaker steals it away. Lay it in for a good basket. But you talk about matchups, but, for Williamsville, yeah, they got some good matchups, but they played some tough teams. I don't want to hear it. And that's an offensive foul to be on number 21. Lyttaker is down on the floor. And
A little shaken up.
Yeah, Beard walking out. They haven't officially called an official's timeout. I guess they did. So we'll take a quick breather.
But, again, looking into the future and next year, I know we won't be here, but it looks bright for the Bullets.
Yeah,
And obviously, you look at the starting lineup, you wonder what it could be, but you got obviously Blake Shuffler, Brayden Sailing at the 2, Shuffler at the 1. We'll have Reed at the 4, and then obviously Garrett Tim, who's really come alive this postseason and the back half of the season. You really didn't expect him to play at all.
And
sophomore.
That's also been, you never want to see Blake Shuffler, your floor general, your point guard go down, but it's really opened up opportunities for other people, and it's really opened opportunities up for sophomores and juniors to prove that they should be playing next year and that they have what it takes to play on a big stage like this. I mean, Garrett Tim was huge this playoff run. Like he never wavered. He was that. He knew he was that guy. Had confidence. He was that guy. So I mean, a ton to build on for Coach Beard. I mean,
Bryant hits a 3 right in front of us.
He's going to have a special group next year as well. But it's number 12, Bryson Roush, with the layup for Byron. No good. Number 21, Hunter Haas gets it, but Ryan Mendenhall is able to come up with it. And Nolan Bryant will bring it into the front court for the Bullets with a minute remaining in their season. Nolan Bryant kicks down to Dalton Root. Dalton Root back out to Nolan Bryant for another 3. No good. He rebounded.
Nolan Bryant also started a few games for Williamsville during the holiday tournament.
He was the first point guard to replace Blake.
Was. And it looks like Byron is just probably, never mind. It's turned over to Brody Neuhoff, and he'll push up to Nolan Bryant. Nolan Bryant will give it over to Ryan Mendenhall.
Shoot here.
Back to Brody Neuhoff.
And
He'll
Neuhoff
take a shot.
3.
He got it.
Brody Neuhoff goes from 3. He got it.
So,
Deep 3.
Looks like Byron is now going to dribble it out.
Yeah.
And that'll be the season.
That'll
be the career for Brecken Thomas, Mr. March, Carson Kohler, and Brayden Scott. And Carson Kohler and Brecken Thomas. I mean, I have played
traveling violation called, so he had another turnover. I'd like to see the turnover count in this game. I mean, we do have a turnover. Byron has 21 turnovers.
And they're up by.
They're also up by
14.
Yeah, so it didn't matter. Williamsville.
I wanted to talk about Brecken Thomas for a second. I played with Brecken Thomas since in travel baseball since I was about 6, 7 years old. I've known Brecken for what seems like my entire life, and I've seen him grow as a person and as a player, and I couldn't be more prouder of him. I love him, and I mean, it's sad to see him go. He's had a heck of a year. It's been fun to watch him. But the same with Carson Kohler and Brayden Scott as well. Good people.
No
good
doubt about
players.
it. Williamsville sends off Carson Kohler, Brecken Thomas, Brayden Scott, and Tucker Johnson, of course. I want to thank them for everything. And, of course, here at Williamsville Wire, I want to thank everybody that joined in for us this season. And throughout our careers, me, Kyle Huebner, Colin Birch, signing out for the last time. Stay wired in.